It's my favorite segment of the week. It is the Commanders Report Mailbag, where I answer your questions on the burgundy and gold here. This is going to be coming out on Sunday after NFL Combine week here, and obviously it's been a very interesting week with a bunch of rumors floating around and all this different stuff, and I'm sure after seeing a lot of these guys work out in Indianapolis, you guys have a lot of questions for me, so I can't wait to get into it. But before we get into your questions today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to join the most interactive fan community for Commanders fans anywhere here on YouTube. There's a reason why we're the largest individually run Commanders news program anywhere on YouTube. It's because we provide you guys insightful, in-depth, free, and daily Commanders coverage on this channel. We try to be as consistent as we possibly can, getting you guys premium Commanders content every single day. We provide you guys breaking news coverage every time the Commanders make a big move. We go live once a week so that we can film these mailbags, have your voices heard, and answer your questions. So if you guys want to join a community of fans that absolutely bleed burgundy and gold, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to never miss any of our free content. All right, so we got our first question coming in from Caesar Holmes, my man. Says, thoughts on the leaked report card of the NFL teams. Washington made a huge jump. They sure did. They upgraded their locker room at their facility this year in Ashburn, and that seemed to really make an impression. And, you know, the thing that I love about the new regime here in Washington, ever since Dan Snyder sold the team to Adam Peters, is this group cares. You can tell that, you know, everyone from ownership with Josh Harris to the GM and Adam Peters to the head coach and Dan Quinn, they dedicate their lives to this football team and to these players, and you can feel their enthusiasm. You can feel their love for not only football, but for the people and the human beings that exist inside that Commanders building. And, you know, when Dan Snyder was here, nobody felt valued. You know, there was no investment in facilities or anything like that. And Josh Harris has come in here, and he has made significant financial commitments to this football team and to this fan base. They seem to really care about what the players and what the fans think, and they're taking, everything into account. And, I think they've done a hell of a job to this point in this new regime, and I think that's why you see the giant leap where now I believe the Commanders are ranked third on the report card in general. So love to see that jump. It's great to see that this new regime is taking things seriously, and the players are responding to it. Then we got one from my man, Mike Nintendo Master. What's up, Mike? Says, what do you think of bringing back Williams? So talking about Trent Williams here, I'm guessing, and Trent Williams is likely to be released by the San Francisco 49ers. A report came out earlier this week, and obviously Williams was somebody that was here, was fantastic, developed into one of the best left tackles of his generation. Now, I seriously doubt this happens for two reasons. Number one, we have Laremy Tunsil, and he's under contract, and they're likely going to get an extension done with him, and there's just no reason that Trent Williams would want to come here and play like right tackle or something like that, right? But then also, Trent Williams freaking hates this organization, right? Because there was that whole debacle with the medical staff when he was here that I just really don't think he wants to come back. Even though Dan Snyder's gone, it's a new day here in Washington and all that different stuff. Maybe he would be open to coming back here, but the fact that Laremy Tunsil is our left tackle pretty much takes away any chance of Trent Williams returning to the Washington Commanders. Then we got one from DMV. DJ Hollywood says, based on who they get in free agency, will tell who they will get with the number 7 pick. I tend to agree with this, right? Like, we're going to learn quite a bit about what the draft strategy is going to look like for the Commanders based on what they do in free agency, right? Like, if they bring in Brandon Ayuk, you can pretty much rest assured they're not taking a receiver at 7, right? They might take one in the later rounds as a future wide receiver 3, but like the only way that wide receiver's really on the board for me, guys, is if they don't really bring in any big name receivers to be that wide receiver 2. And, the Commanders, if they want, somebody's going to be there, whether it's Mekhi Lemon, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, whoever they like. If they want a good receiver this year, they can get one, but it seems like the guy that Jaden wants is his old college teammate, Brandon Ayuk, and it seems like that's eventually going to get done. So, and that applies to every position, right? If they get Trey Trey Hendrickson, they're probably not going to draft Ruben Bain or David Bailey at 7, right? If they get a high-end safety, you're probably not going to get Caleb Downs. Like depending on what pieces they bring in free agency, it's going to determine, the levels of need that you have at that number 7 overall pick. And right now we're all guessing as to what's going to be that big need that the Commanders are going to be addressing there in round 1. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comment section. What is the excitement level for the new defense this year under Durante Jones? Let me know down there in the comment section. Put it on a scale of 1, meaning not excited at all, this brother stinks, to 10 being, I cannot wait to watch this defense under Durante Jones. I think he's going to be awesome. In just a second here, I'm going to tell you about our sponsor here at Harry's. Well, I tell you about our sponsor today. Give me a number between 1 and 10 down there in the comments. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor today at Harry's. And guys, life is all about continual improvement, and that includes the products that we use every single day. Your phone is practically a supercomputer in your pocket. Cars can park and even drive themselves now. Your headphones cancel outside noise like magic, but your razor, it's likely still flimsy, overpriced, and stuck back in 2008. That's where our friends at Harry's Plus come in. Harry's Plus has an advanced pivoting system to reach every corner of your face, refined blade tech for a closer, smoother shave, and a weighted metal handle, which is Harry's heaviest handle ever for added control and comfort. It feels like an expensive shave without having to break the bank. With Harry's Plus, each blade is honed at 3 different angles to cut hair cleanly at the root without tugging. Blade spacing is optimized to glide smoothly and avoid clogging, and every cartridge includes a lubricating strip with aloe and vitamin E to calm skin while you shave. But maybe the best part about Harry's Plus is how affordable it is. Harry's owns their own world-class blade factory in Germany, which means no outsourcing and no middlemen. And because they control the entire process from steel to shelf, they keep costs low and pass the savings on to you. And if you don't love your shave, Harry's is going to make it right with you, no questions asked. The risk-free trial means there's zero downside to giving them a shot. So for a limited time only, our listeners can get the Harry's Plus trial set for only $10 at harrys.com/chat. This set includes the all-new Harry's Plus razor, 1 refined 5-blade cartridge, a 2-ounce foaming shave gel, and a travel cover to protect your blades on the go. Just head on over to harrys.com/chat to claim this offer, and after you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you. A big thank you to Harry's for sponsoring today's edition of the Commanders Report. Got one from my man JG. Says, assuming the Commanders do not sign Bobby Wagner, who is the best linebacker available in free agency? Well, the best linebacker available in free agency is going to be Devin Lloyd. Okay, Devin Lloyd, obviously coming from the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jags are in a tough spot financially, so they're probably not going to re-sign a linebacker, somebody at a lower value position. He would probably be the best linebacker that's available right now. I like Leo Chanel, formerly of the Kansas City Chiefs. He's going to be more of an affordable option that if the Commanders want to bring somebody in that's a veteran, I think Chanel's a pretty darn good player. But honestly, JG, it kind of looks to me like their plan is going to be Frankie Louvu, once again, as a starter off-ball linebacker, and then Jordan McGee is going to be the other off-ball backer this year. Now, obviously, they have a bunch of other guys on the roster. Tyler Owens is big enough to play linebacker, Kane Madrano, Ali Cahoe, and they could add players as well in free agency and the draft. But honestly, right now, it's looking like the Commanders feel pretty good about their plan at linebacker next year with Frankie Louvu and Jordan McGee. So I'm not sure if they're going to spend a lot of money at linebacker this year. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what they do in the linebacker market this year. Then we got one from Lenny Summers. Says, what do you think about taking a corner at 7? Well, Daniel Jeremiah always says the 2 positions where you kind of got to take a premium and maybe draft a player higher than maybe where their grade is cornerback and edge rusher, because it's really tough to find high-end talents at that position. And listen, man, if you want to get like a really good man corner, Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee is a very interesting one, because he might actually be worth that top 10 selection. Like, I think McCoy has it in him to be like a top 5 corner in this league and to be a top man corner and to be a true takeaway number 1 guy. But I think that, depending on how you feel about Trey Amos and his future, I think it kind of answers your question here, my friend. Because if you believe that Trey Amos is a true number 1, then I don't think you need to necessarily spend this pick on a corner. Okay, like I think you could probably go edge rusher. You could go Caleb Downs. You could go, a different position of need depending on what you do in free agency. But if you don't believe Trey Amos is like a true number one guy, and you believe one of either Mansour Delane or Jamad McCoy fits that bill, then it could be a possibility. I guess we'll see. Personally, I think corner is probably on the lower end of the possibilities for the Commanders at 7. I think edge rusher or maybe like Caleb Downs at safety is probably where they probably go. Maybe they go someone like Jeremiyah Love. We'll have to see. Maybe they fall in love with Kenyon Sadiq and they trade down. Like I don't know what they're going to do, man. But I would say at this point they have a high level of belief in Trey Amos. I think they want to try probably Mike Samerstrill on the outside next year, and if that's the case, they don't necessarily need to get a starting outside corner in the draft this year. All right, now before we get to the rest of your questions here, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon if you are a real one. The real ones know that clicking that thumbs up icon helps us out and is a free way to help us out every single time you watch one of our videos, because it tells the YouTube algorithm that you're a Commanders fan, you like this show, and that they should recommend this show to other Commanders fans on their platform. So it gets more eyeballs on the channel. It helps us out, guys. So if you appreciate the work we put in here on the Commanders Report for you, make sure you click that thumbs up icon. I'd greatly appreciate it. Another one coming in from JG here. Says, how much of Love's success is due to his offensive line versus just his innate ability? Well, Notre Dame certainly has a good offensive line. They coach up their guys really well. They recruit well at that position. There's no doubt about that. But I think Jeremiyah Love, in terms of just his pure ability in a vacuum, is still very, very good. His long speed is truly special. So if he gets out into open space, like he can break angles from defenders. He's got an electric twitch to him as well that allows him to make people miss. He's pretty well built too. 214 pounds is no slouch there in terms of the size that he brings to the table, and he's awesome out of the backfield as a receiver as well. So he brings all that dynamic athleticism to the table, along with very solid hands, good route running, all that different stuff. So I think Jeremiyah Love is a really, really good halfback prospect. I do consider him one of the blue chip prospects in this draft class. Now, personally, I'm not somebody that likes the philosophy of drafting running backs in the top 10 or really even in the top 15. Like if you take a running back round 1, I would prefer it be, later in the first round to a team that's already pretty well built. And I don't think the Commanders are in a position to draft running back from a roster perspective right now. But Jeremiyah Love, just, his profile, he's just an awesome football player, man. Then we got one from Samuel, who says, should the Commanders go for a defensive player, or would you rather Jeremiyah Love? I would personally not do Jeremiyah Love for a number of reasons. I think you've got a lot of other needs that you need to address. Running back is usually a very addressable position in any given offseason. You can usually find good running back talent on day 2 and day 3 in most drafts, not to mention in free agency. The short shelf life of running backs, the fact that no running back is on the field for every offensive snap, all those different things contribute for me to be like, I don't want to spend my 7th overall pick on a player like that, at a position like that. I would rather get somebody that's on the field all the time on their side of the football, and somebody that's a more premium position than a running back. That's just where I'm at right now. So definitely defense is probably where I'd go if I'm the Commanders. That's the side of the ball that needs the most work and needs the most youth. So that's probably where I'm going. But let us know down there in the comments section, guys, who are you hoping that the Washington Commanders take in round 1 this year? I know there's a lot of people that like the Jeremiyah Love idea. Do you like David Bailey, Reuben Bain Jr., Caleb Downs? Do you like Jamad McCoy, Mansour Delane, like one of those cornerback prospects like we talked about earlier? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. For me, I'm hoping the Commanders can find a way to land Caleb Downs out of Ohio State, man. He is just special safety prospect, in my opinion, day 1 impact if the Commanders can end up getting him, and he can just take away the middle of the field, and I think that is an ultimate value for a defensive coordinator like Durante Jones. So that's who I'm hoping the Commanders get, but let me know who you guys want down there in the comments, and that'll be it for this week's mailbag here on the Commanders Report. Thank you guys so much for joining me here for this week's mailbag and Q&A. Of course, you'll have an opportunity to get your question on next week's mailbag when we go live. We tend to go live on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you guys click that subscribe button and turn on those notifications so you always know when we go live right here on the Commanders Report.